Listen, I don't care that it's the preseason. Not every day are you going to see the Giants scoring 30 points in a football game, baby. I'm going to savor this moment. Alright, so the New York Giants just finished their first preseason game of the 2025 season, and they beat the Buffalo Bills 34-25, I believe. They had like 10 plays at the goal line. There was always something, always some stupid penalty that got them another chance, the Bills, another chance to get into the end zone, but the blue curtain, baby. But there was a lot to take out of this game, especially starting with Jaxson Dart. But before we do, as always, guys, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. We've got a lot of things going on this season. If you guys haven't tuned into the live streams, that's where I really went over what we're gonna do in these next coming weeks and months. But just to start, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe for more content. More will be coming soon. Also, this is the time now. Make sure you guys join the membership. For $5 a month, we're going to be doing a lot of film on there. A lot of film. Of course, there's going to be some film that's good. As my phone goes off, there's going to be some film that goes on the public. But most of the film is going to be on the membership because the NFL. All right, so let's talk business here. Starting off, before we get into like winners and losers and things like that, I want to quickly talk about the starting offense. Now, they looked methodical. They looked efficient. They just didn't look dynamic, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Then again, we are without Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt. We're without these guys, so obviously the pass game isn't going to be that much of a threat, but I thought Russell Wilson looked sharp. Now, there wasn't a lot of things open, but if there's one thing that you can take out from Russell Wilson and Jaxson Dart and like any other quarterback that's played for the Giants, the difference with Russell Wilson is his decisiveness. You know, he doesn't hold the ball for too long. It reminds me of, like, you know, the last time we saw that was Eli Manning in his prime. Obviously, Eli Manning is not a guy that had legs. He had to be quick with the football. He had to know exactly where he's going to go and not second guess himself. You saw Russell Wilson, even though he was like 6 of 7 for 28 yards, you saw how fast he gets the football out, and two, how fast he comes to the decision where he's going to throw the football and doesn't second guess himself. You saw him make quick throws and like a quick drag route to a tight end that, yeah, it didn't get any yards. It was like a throw to like Daniel Bellinger. It didn't get any yards. But you saw how fast he made that decision, because if he waits any longer, you know, that no gain could be either an incomplete pass, which doesn't give you a chance to move yardage, and two, it could be, you know, a mistimed play, and it could be interception. It could be just miscommunication. You got to be decisive as a quarterback, and Russell Wilson definitely was from the little bit that we saw of him. All right, so let's start with the winners. Let's start with the highs of highs. You know, the Giants just won a football game and scored over 30 points to do so. Again, I don't care. It's the preseason. All right, so let's start with Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart, as far as the stat sheet goes, he definitely impressed, right? 12 of 19, 154 yards and a touchdown. I believe he had like 24 yards on the ground on 3 carries. That's just going based off of what I remember seeing, that photographic memory. But, I mean, that's a good stat line. It's not a bad stat line, especially your first debut into the NFL. I don't care who you're going against. These are NFL players. I don't care if it's second stringers or what have you. But Jaxson Dart, I thought, played decent. He was decent, but as I put on Twitter, a lot of people thought I was trolling when I said this, and I wasn't saying that Jaxson Dart is bad. I'm not saying that he played bad. I just said he's not ready. You can honestly see that Jaxson Dart just isn't ready to play. The reason why I said that is because a lot of people have been pushing for Jaxson Dart to be that day one quarterback, that they don't need Russell Wilson, they don't need Jameis Winston, that he can just be drafted and play. This is why I say that Jaxson Dart needs a full year to grow and develop. I don't want to throw him in there and just, hey, let's see what we got. We can definitely stunt his growth if we don't take the proper precautions in Jaxson Dart. I'm saying we as if I'm doing it, but still, you guys know what I'm saying. I thought he made some decisive throws as well. He pushed the ball downfield. Man, it really looks like he has a good chemistry with Montrell Washington, and we'll get into him as well. But it seems like he's getting chemistry with these guys, and he's trusting them, trusting himself, trusting his arm. He gets the ball out nicely, a nice spiral, has zip to it. I would say the only problem is, one, he can hold the ball a little too long. He's not that decisive yet. Like, he's a rookie, I understand that, but he's not very decisive like we saw with Russell Wilson, where it's just no second guesses, just pull the trigger. We saw him pull back on some throws. We saw him not trust his arm a lot and then take off and try to run to gain some extra yardage. We've seen that a bunch of times, including a big 20-yard run. I have to look at the film to see if there was anybody open. I know he was looking towards the middle and it wasn't open. That's when he decided to run it, but I didn't see what the two boundaries looked like. But Jaxson Dart, it looks like how he was in college, right? I'm waiting to see a little bit more, because right now this still looks like Jaxson Dart from college, and I want to see more. I want to see more development. On top of that, honing in his placement. Honing in that ball trajectory. It sails a little too high sometimes. It looks like he puts too much juice on the ball and it sails high. A lot of even completed passes, the carrier or the receiver had to jump up to get it. It really doesn't give you a chance for extra yardage, and of course you want that ball getting right to the chest. So, and then there were some balls that got away from him, were wildly inaccurate. It's gonna happen. I'm not saying he played bad. I'm just saying he's clearly not ready if you look at, Russell Wilson in the short time that he was there. All right, another winner I want to talk about is Montrell Washington. Man, I know he's a veteran. I think he's like 2-3 years in the league. I believe he played with Kansas City as well. So he has a good experience in the NFL. Some fast, speedy receivers over there, how they use those guys in Kansas City, and of course the quarterback situation. So he has some experience, and man, Montrell Washington has been a dog for them. I mean, not only is he on, playing as a wide receiver, but he's also playing special teams and also as a kick returner I saw late in the game. So it looks like they're really trying to find a role for Montrell Washington and try to give him every opportunity to stay on this roster. And, a couple of weeks ago, I would have said if they're going to keep any of the wide receivers that they just brought on this season, it would probably be Bo Collins, because they've been looking for like that big boundary receiver for such a long time now. But I really think it might be a guy like Montrell Washington. The Giants have a clear need on the outside, on the inside at slot receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson is probably like the only guy the Giants really trust to take slot reps at wide receiver. They have Amir Smith-Marset, but I'm sure they won't want to use him as much because he is the designated kick and punt returner. So I can see Montrell Washington slipping in, like finding his way onto this roster to do just that. I think he's been dependable in camp, and he's shown that in an NFL game. So that is going to go a long way with the coaching staff, and I think he's the second biggest winner today. I thought Jaxson Dart was probably the biggest winner today because all the lights are on him, all the attention, and he performed. He didn't perform badly, which can be extremely bad, but if you perform good, you're a quarterback and you're a first-round rookie, the hope is still there. Another wide receiver I wanted to note, you didn't see too much of him, but he caught the touchdown pass from Jaxson Dart, and that was Lil Jordan Humphrey. He might be a guy to challenge for a roster spot, but he's played a lot with the first team in camp, and he caught the touchdown by Jaxson Dart in man coverage. It was just mano-a-mano, beat the other guy that's up against you, and he was able to catch that ball for a touchdown. Beautifully thrown ball by Jaxson Dart, by the way. I didn't mention that when I was talking about him, but Lil Jordan Humphrey looked good out there. Dante Miller, I am not a fan of Dante Miller. You guys saw, I think there were 2 or 3 times where a defender makes a normal tackle and Dante Miller does a whole somersault where literally the commentators go, ooh, the guy's a ragdoll. I like Dante Miller. I'm just not a fan of him in the NFL. I think he's a fun player, like maybe in college, maybe you see him in like Madden or something like that because he's really fast. But man, I would not trust this guy as my running back if I'm in a real game. I'm just not going to trust him. He's very small. He's fast, but he's not dynamically fast in my opinion. When he has the ball, he can hit the outside nicely, but man, he's just so easy to bring down. He's not a guy that was like a Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles was super fast, can catch the ball at the backfield, and when he bounces outside, not only are you not catching him, he's going to slip off the tackle, he's going to bounce off you, things like that. I just don't see that in a Dante Miller, but I have to say that he's a winner today because, one, He probably looked like the best running back out there, and as a pass catcher, he led the team in receiving yards. Those screen passes were pretty damn well. There was one of them that was like a 3rd and 15. I thought they were just like trying to get good field position. He winds up with good blocking, of course, but he did a lot of work as well. Dante Miller got the first down, and they trusted him running the screen game. The Giants don't run screens that often at all. Like, even going back to like Ben McAdoo era, with Jason Garrett and now Brian Dable, like, we don't see a lot of screens because they never work, but they did so with Dante Miller to, I think, 3 or 4 screens, and it wound up working out, so he's a winner. Now, there's only a few players on planet Earth that can have 3 snaps, and still be a topic of conversation with how great they are in a football game. 3 snaps, and that is Abdul Carter. He's a menace. If you saw him on Deion Dawkins, he had another one where he just went straight around the corner, and he had, I believe that was all 3, and then he just like kind of gets inside and pressures the quarterback to get out. Like, Abdul Carter, yes, he didn't have a sack. He had 3 pressures out of 3 snaps. I think his time to pressure was like at an crazy rate. I have to put it on screen. I saw it on Twitter. His time to pressure was absolutely nuts. So we have a real one in Abdul Carter. Like, at this point, like, I like Jaxson Dart. If he winds up not working out, a great consolation prize is Abdul Carter, getting him 3rd overall. Jaxson Dart may or may not work out. It would be a great thing if he did. But I'll tell you what, I won't be mad looking for a new quarterback when I have Abdul Carter. Again, we're going to do a lot of film when it comes out, but for right now, we're just doing winners and losers. So we'll stick with the winners. Trace Ford, he had like consistent pressure today. He was consistent out there. I like what I saw from 46, and he also recovered. He had really good hustle. I was really impressed with that hustle to go get that football. Not only was he like the first guy around there, he pushed the running back out the way, got the quarterback out the way, went for the ball, fell on the ground, shot right back up, and went to go get that football. How many times do you see that much determination from one player trying to get a fumble? You don't see it much. He's trying to make this roster. He's a winner today. And the last winner I have is Marcus Bowe. Marcus Bowe looked good out there, and we're going to get into losers in a second, but I'll tell you right now, Marcus Bowe has every opportunity to be the swing tackle for the Giants, and I have a feeling he may get some reps because we know Jermaine Illuminor and Andrew Thomas do not stay healthy. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but these guys don't stay healthy often. We might see more Marcus Bowe than we originally anticipated. All right, let's get on to the losers.
Loser.
James Hudson. Get this man off my football team. James Hudson does not belong on an NFL. How did he get paid so much? How did this man get paid so much? He's making $500,000 less than Jermaine Illuminor, who's a starter on the roster. And James Hudson was a bottom of the barrel starter, if not backup, for the Browns. He had to fill in where he needed to fill in, but he was terrible. And he remains terrible with the Giants. Not only did he stall the first drive where the Giants didn't look dynamic, granted, but they looked methodical. Russell Wilson started 6 of 6 getting down the field, and they were moving down the field slowly but surely, but they were looking like they were going to get on to score. 2 straight penalties. First, a false start, and then a holding call that pushed them back so far they had no chance to complete that drive with a touchdown. Not without Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton. Like, come on, no Wan'Dale Robinson. Your top 4 receivers are not on the field. You have to pretty much rely on your tight ends against the starting Bills defense. Like, come on. And on top of that, he just allowed too much. I mean, Joey Bosa was just too much for him to handle. He just thrown him around everywhere. James Hudson does not belong to be on this roster, and I'm telling you right now, the reason why he's the biggest loser today is because of how decent Marcus Bowe looked. Like, he looked like, obviously, it's something that is natural. If he's a rookie, he automatically has hope behind him. If you look good as a rookie, you don't need to look great. If you look good as a rookie, there's automatically hope. And Marcus Bowe looks like a guy you want to place hope in. And he's going to challenge James Hudson immediately if the trend keeps going the way it's going, like it did in this game. Second biggest loser, the run game. The run game was atrocious. Dante Miller, even Tyrone Tracy had 1 first down. Devin Singletary didn't get anything going in that 1 carry he had. We were not able to push the ball down, run the ball on the ground. We had the offensive line just doesn't look like they're opening up a lot of holes, and we just don't have the running backs to really push the pile. This is why I really wanted a bruiser, and I don't know if Cam Scatabo is really a bruiser, but we'll see what happens. But we don't have a guy that really pushed the pile. I like our running backs. I don't love our running backs. So I do love Tyrone Tracy, but he has a skill set and he's not perfect. So when there is times where the offensive line cannot get a good push on the defensive line in between the tackles, do not expect our running backs to put any work in. They're just not built that way. And we saw that against the Bills today. All right, third biggest loser, the pass defense. The pass defense looks god awful. I mean, the starting defense looked good. The starting defense looked fine. I didn't have a problem with them at all. Then again, we're going up against Mitchell Trubisky, but Mitchell Trubisky still looked good out there. The pass defense, for the starting pass defense, I didn't think looked as bad as, I thought they were going to look. Deonte Banks is okay. He looked all right. He still got exposed a couple of times. There was one pass, I believe it was to who was it? KJ Hamler or Shavers? One of those guys beat him, over the middle, on a drag route or something like that. Just beat him right off the snap. It was just bad. It was just bad. You don't want to see that from your starting cornerback on a backup wide receiver. You just don't want to see those type of things. But the starting pass defense, I didn't think looked bad, but the rest of it, the depth was terrible. It was bad. I like O'Donnell Fortune. He's not good. So I'm scared. Dane Belton. Get Dane Belton off my team. Why we had... It's like the occasional interception keeps him on the roster and keeps hype behind him. I don't like him. All right, never did, never will, and he just wasn't good today. Top of that, you're a safety and can't make a secure tackle. There was this one play where I believe it was a tight end just bouncing off. Nobody can tackle this guy. No, it was a running back. Nobody could tackle. It was Ray Davis. Nobody could tackle Ray Davis, including Dane Belton. You're a safety, my brother. All right, and my last 2 losers, Tommy DeVito. I think Tommy DeVito is just playing just to play. I think it's inevitable he's not going to remain on this roster. I don't know if they're even going to give him a practice squad spot. I don't know. He doesn't look bad out there, but he needs to look way better than Jameis Winston. I thought Jameis Winston was Jameis Winston out there. That was for sure. Gunslinger Jameis Winston. Wildly inaccurate sometimes Jameis Winston. But he pushes the ball downfield. He challenges defenses. And he takes a lot of risks. And that type of stuff you would kind of want from a backup quarterback, because they can give you the juice if he needs to come in. They can give you a spark. Tommy DeVito just doesn't give you that. Besides a couple memes, he doesn't give you that. So I'm not too big on Tommy DeVito. I think it's inevitable he's going to be off this roster, and he didn't do much to really show why he should remain on the roster. And my last loser, I have to say, is Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt didn't play today, and that's what makes him a loser. He's hurt today. That's why he wasn't able to play along with other receivers. But if there's, who cares? Malik Neighbors shouldn't play. Yes, he's dealing with an injury, shouldn't play. Darius Slayton, I didn't know is hurt. I don't think he's hurt. I think they just kept him out on purpose. I don't think he's hurt, but he doesn't need to play. Wandale, I don't think needs to play. Jalen Hyatt needs to play. These are the opportunities you need to not only stay on the roster, because that's a question, but get some reps, because last year was indicative of that. Even though he played well in the preseason last year, that still wasn't enough to get him on the field. He needs to show out in these games. It's not enough to do it in practice where we're seeing clips in training camp. He's got to show it in these games, and he's got to show that he could be a little bit more versatile and stick and kind of keep up with the offense and what they're doing, and not have to cater to him just to force him the ball, So these are the type of games he cannot afford to miss, and he missed one. So that's unfortunate. But those are the winners and losers today, guys. I thought it was a really good showing from the Giants. I thought Brian Dable, whoever's calling the play, I assume it's Mike Kafka actually, but I thought the play calling was good. It was just failed execution, especially from the run game, where it almost forced the teams to just strictly pass it. I thought the quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks were pretty good, besides a couple batted passes from Jaxson Dart, wildly crazy throws from Jameis Winston. Besides those, I believe that all the quarterbacks performed pretty damn well. So good showing from the Giants. Excited to see what they're going to do next week. I believe they're against the Jets next week. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, we will be back on that. Film reviews coming very soon. We'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!